Hello everyone. At the time of filming this video, it's the first day of spring 2025, so your thoughts may be turning to spring cleaning or hopefully getting out in the garden and possibly catching a bit of sun. And amazingly, we do have sunshine today and I'm inside my house filming a vacuum video. Never mind, these things have to be done. So, spring cleaning time, you may be considering a new vacuum cleaner, but are you considering a vacuum cleaner that costs £500? Well, hopefully by the end of this first look video you'll decide whether this Miele top of the range premium machine is worth £500. Spoiler alert, no it's not. So here's everything out of the box. I've been using this machine so I can give you a more detailed first impression than possibly I could normally when I just unbox the machine, use it in the video and then give you my first impressions. I've actually used this around my house. I've used it on carpets, hard floors, up the stairs, I've used it to clean stairs, and I've used it for dusting and upholstery. So I've found out some pros and I've also found out some cons, which I'll tell you in this video. So what do we get in the box? Well, first of all, we get a flexible hose. It looks quite short, but in use it's long enough. This is the Comfort handle. It incorporates an on-off switch, variable power controls, as well as a button to select automatic mode. It also has a built-in dusting brush. You just press the button here and the dusting brush comes out, and you can use this for dusting furniture, your curtains, lampshades, etc. And in fact I found this pretty useful. I was vacuuming upstairs in a room we use as an office, so I did the carpets and then I noticed there were some crumbs and bits on top of the desk. So all I had to do was remove the wand, pull out the brush, and I just went over the desk. I reduced the power down to minimum, which you can do from your hand, the hand grip here. And then when I'd finished getting the desk all clean, I popped the brush back and then fitted the wand back on there. So this was more useful than I thought it would be, having it built in. This needs to be attached to the hose when you first get the machine. Goes on this end. It's just a simple push fit. Push it until it clicks. It does swivel at this end and it also swivels at the cleaner end, so it shouldn't get tangled up. So that's the hose. This is the extension tube, the wand. Telescopic, so this is its shortest position, but you can just pull it out and it does. I can't even fit it in my picture, I don't think, unless I'm zoomed in. No, I'm not zoomed in, so it is a long tube. To be honest, it's going to be suitable for even the tallest person to use without having to stoop or bend, and it's also useful for reaching up high for cobwebs and things. This is the carpet and floor head, and in fact this is the nicest head I've used on a Miele. I've got this head on other Miele cleaners. You can check my Miele playlist on my channel. You'll see I've done quite a lot of machines from Miele. So it's been used, so there's a bit of muck here. It's got litter pickers either side. There's also some squeegees, a foot operated pedal. If you press that down, it's a bit stiff doing it with your hand, but it's quite easy with your foot. You get brushes at the front and the back. So yeah, that's just suitable for general carpet cleaning and hard floor cleaning. Speaking of hard floor cleaning, for some bizarre reason with the top model, you get the Parquet Twister XL. That is a wide nozzle. Miele also do a standard Parquet Twister head, which is a bit narrower, which, unless you've got lots and lots of hard floor, I don't think I'm going to use this. It's really too big for my home. It's okay for the kitchen, but for my bathrooms, I just think it's a bit large. And the fact that you can use this on hard floors, I don't think many people are just going to bother looking for this nozzle, you know, in your back of your cupboard under the stairs and thinking, oh, I'll change the nozzles over. Most people won't use that, in my opinion. Unless you've got a home with mainly hard floors, then I think you'd probably use that most and then switch to the carpet nozzle for doing carpets. So you might have some carpets upstairs or doing your rugs. But it's a nozzle I don't think I'm going to use. I would rather, for this money, have got a turbo nozzle with this cleaner. And I do have one to show you, which I had to purchase separately. This costs you around £80, so if you want a turbo nozzle with this cleaner, it'll be £580 at the time of making this video. This might go down in price. I have a feeling Miele will reduce this. They may even knock £100 off this, bringing it down to £399. But even at that price, I think it's, so far, I think that's poor value. This is all the paperwork you get in the box. You have a QR code that you can scan to activate your free 2-year warranty. So that's the maximum guarantee on this Miele, 2 years. You also get an added protection leaflet, Miele protection policy, which is an additional benefit that will obviously end up costing you money. I don't really know what that benefit is. It's a monthly direct debit. So for a vacuum cleaner, which isn't actually listed here, washing machine, tumble dryer, oven, fridge. Ah, right, okay. They don't list vacuum cleaners in here, but if you have a washing machine, you can pay $5.20 a month to protect your appliance, which will include accidental cover, unlimited repairs, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really sure how long. It enhances your 2-year guarantee to include accidental damage, but when the guarantee expires, it continues protecting you for breakdown. So as long as you keep paying Miele the monthly thing, yeah, you'll get the service. But yeah, I really should do that with I should have done that with my washing machine, since I had to have it replaced after 1 year, 1 month, my Miele washing machine. But no, I can't see here. So they've included this. So that's something else that's wrong with this these leaflets. There are more problems with these leaflets. I'm talking about the UK version. Right, so can't see anything for vacuum cleaners on that, but it's included in the box. This, now I know some other people have had this problem. This voucher entitles you to a pack of 4 bags. And I have a pack, look, I've got the new pack here. And Miele reckon that a pack of 4 bags should last on average a year of use. And that varies, of course. It might last a bit longer, might last you considerably less. You know, it depends on if you've got pets to clean up after, how big your house is. But average, 1 pack should last a year. And you have a bag inside as well, of course. I didn't get this free. I paid for this on Miele's website. They had a recent promotion. I think it was 20% off bags and filters. So I took the advantage of that promotion. Got some of these because I wasn't convinced that I would get the bags I wanted with this voucher. Because when I tried my Miele S1, and you'll see a video of that on my channel, I tried to redeem my voucher. I got GN bags. That was the only option. And the GN bags do not fit these. These are new bags marked TU. These fit the Guard L1 and the Guard S1. They don't fit the Guard M1, which I'm hoping to show you one of those on my channel at some point. That's the mid-range. This is the top range. The S1 is the bottom of the range. So if you get this, you'll find a code inside. You need to be registered with Miele. You have to go on the website and log in and everything. You can't do it without logging in. Then you put in the code. I'm not going to show you it, but you put the code in, which I did. And again, with this one that came in the box for this, I'm offered GN bags, not these. Please sort it out, Miele. Hopefully they'll sort it out soon, because that was one of the few frustrations I've had with this cleaner. The other frustration I have had with this cleaner, and again, Miele may have sorted it out before you decide to buy one if you do. In my particular instruction book, sold for a UK cleaner, there is no information inside this leaflet telling you anything about the remote control handle, because you need to pair it with the machine before it works. I'm used to buying Miele RF remote machines. I've got a few. They work out of the box. You just connect the hose. You don't even have to have the hose connected because it works on an RF frequency. You can just use it and it works. And I was pressing the buttons and the light was coming on. Nothing was happening with the cleaner. I didn't realise I had to pair it, because there is a video apparently from on Miele's German YouTube channel, but not on the UK one at the moment. Fortunately, one of my viewers pointed me in the right direction and I managed to pair it, and I have made a separate video of how you pair it. It's quite simple, but nothing in the instruction book, not in the UK instruction book. I have looked at an instruction book online on it was miele.com, not miele.co.uk. And they have the full instruction book that tells you how to pair it, and they also tell you how to change the battery but I've shown you that as well in my initial video of how to pair the handle. So that was a frustration. I know one of my viewers had to return his cleaner because he couldn't get it to work, and Miele were no help at all. They just said, oh, it's the motor, and it clearly wasn't the motor, because the machine does work without the remote handle. So if the battery goes in your remote handle and you haven't got a spare one, you can use the controls on the machine, so it's not going to be useless until you get a new battery. So I like the fact you can use the controls on the cleaner. But the handle controls are very, very useful. But at the time of making the video, these remote handle controls are only available if you buy this top model. I would like to see it available on a cat and dog version, because I would have liked to have the turbo nozzle with this. In the USA, when these models are launched, I expect you will get versions with electric powered heads. Versions like that aren't available in the UK and Europe, unfortunately. The only option is the turbo nozzle, which is good, but not as good as an electrically powered head. Anyway, aside from those teething problems, everything is connected. I've even connected it to my Wi-Fi. So I've got the app. You need the Miele app. I already had the app for my washing machine. So now the vacuum cleaner is added to the app. That just tells you how many hours you've run it. According to the app, I've run this for 2 hours. I haven't, but the app says I have. The filter inside here, the HEPA filter, is supposed to last 50 hours, and I've used 2 hours, according to the app. So when the 50 hours is up, the app will remind me I need to buy a new filter at, I think, £38, something like that, a new HEPA filter costs. It also tells you how full the dust bag is. How accurate that is, I'm not sure. But you can also see the filter condition and the how full the dust bag is on the display. You don't need the app. I'm really not sure why they've included it. But I did it. I'm not going to show you. Just you scan the QR code on the inside of the machine after you've got the Miele app, of course, and then you add the vacuum. You need to put your Wi-Fi password in, go through the stages. It's fairly straightforward, and then you'll be notified in your app. And there's also other things. You can buy bags from the app, and it'll recommend accessories, etc. Bit of a gimmick, really. It's personally, if you like all that, then it's fine. But you're paying for all this technology, and it's all these added things. Is this going to last 20 years, as Miele claim? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no way will this last 20 years. If I use this for 20 years, even if I was really careful with it, which I am careful with all my vacuums, even if I only use genuine bags, if I replace the filter every time the app told me to with a genuine HEPA filter, there's no way, in my opinion, this is going to last 20 years. If it did, for £500, 20 years, quite good value. No, I can't see that happening. I think this is going to prove to not be a reliable cleaner. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Please comment below. Please comment below in 10 years if you've still got this and it's working. Right, let's have a closer look at the vacuum itself. There's no denying that this is a very attractive looking vacuum cleaner, and it really matches my living room. It's almost as if Miele designed this vacuum cleaner to go in my living room. Clearly they didn't, but it just matches so many things in my living room, and I'll do a little montage as I'm speaking of this vacuum around my living room, and you'll see how it just blends in. It's almost camouflaged in my living room, especially my 2 KEF speakers that I have next to my television. It's almost the same colour. Even my KEF speakers have a fabric body to them, covering, and it's almost the same as this. So this is a very nice, soft fabric protection. So the exhaust air vents out of the side of this, and it's diffused by this fabric cover. I don't think it's user replaceable. I wonder where they got that idea. I wonder what other German manufacturer has been using a fabric air belt on their cleaner so the exhaust air vents out the side. Could it be SIBO? I think it could. But anyway, Miele have done it as well. It looks very smart, and you've got this sort of copper accent colour on the side of that one. It says Comfort. So it's a nice looking machine. It really is nice, and it is manoeuvrable, I must say, because it's got 4 casters, and these are Miele's dynamic drive casters, but very smooth running. And I think they've got a little bit of suspension, so they will sort of go in a little bit. They're sort of sprung loaded. So it does make it easier to pull it along the carpet. It's very easy on a hard floor and short pile carpet. On my plush pile, it's a bit harder to pull, but it's, you know, it's not bad. It will follow you around quite easily. So I like that about it. Also on the outside, here's the back of the machine. We've got this parking or pause slot. So when you're using the cleaner, and this will fit all the tools, all the big tools. There's a little bracket on the parquet. Whoops. There's a bracket on the standard carpet and floor nozzle. And if you decide to buy the turbo nozzle, that also will fit onto there. So what you do with that, if you're vacuuming and you need to pause your cleaning, instead of having to lie that down on the floor, you can just pop it in like that. And then when you resume your cleaning, you're not having to bend down, you just lift that off and carry on. On some models in the past, doing that would turn the cleaner off automatically. Not on this model. You do still have to turn the cleaner off, but at least with this, you can turn it off by the handle. So what else have we got to show you on the outside of the machine? That's about it. I'll have to explain the control panel, because these are all the controls, and I do like the way this has been done, because you have the on-off switch here, a minus and plus to vary the suction, and your comfort cord rewind. Now personally, you could operate these with your foot, but if you've got shoes on, or if you're a little bit heavy-handed or heavy-footed, you might end up damaging this LCD display. So personally, use your finger, but with this model, of course, most of the time you'll control the cleaner from the hand grip, but you won't be able to rewind from the hand grip. So I would hold on to the plug when pressing this and just press it with your finger. You only have to press it once and then it rewinds automatically. It's got a long cord, it's a pretty long cord on this. I'll put all the specifications below, but yes, it's nice. The cable seems a good quality. But yeah, I would advise before you use this machine, unless you're just using it very, very briefly, for your main vacuuming session, even if you don't need all the mains cable, pull it out completely. That way it's not going to warm up, because if the cable is left coiled with electricity running through it, it can get warm. So I would advise pulling out the cable entirely. And then when you finish, you just press the button. Press it again if it stops. Right, so normally it doesn't stop, because once you've used it, the cable's completely, you know, straightened out, and then it will normally, all the times I've used this, the few times I've used it, it does go back in without stopping. There is onboard tool storage on this machine, but I think it's a step back from, say, the C series, the C3 series, that this isn't replacing. It's the M series, the Guard M series, are replacing the C3. This is a completely new category. So if you press here, that pops up, and out comes the 2-in-1 nozzle. I'm not a fan of multi-function nozzles, and I'm certainly not a fan of this one, because it's very, very noisy. I'll explain the noise. I'll turn the machine on shortly, and then I'll attach this nozzle. The cleaner itself is relatively quiet, and it's a pleasant sounding vacuum, and it's especially quiet on the lower suction settings. Even on maximum, it's a pleasant sound. But when you attach this nozzle, because of the design of it, it really increases the noise level, and I'm going to show you that. You'll be quite surprised at the difference. But anyway, this is the crevice tool. This is how you'd have it as a crevice tool. Okay, so it's for around the edges of your room, down the sides of your chairs, nooks and crannies. Put it on the end of your wand to reach up for cobwebs, etc. I've used this on my sofa. It doesn't get down very far at all. In fact, earlier this morning I thought I'd do it properly. I used this. Now this is a genuine Miele flexible crevice tool. Look how big it is, right, compared to the one supplied. Bit of a difference. And obviously I tried getting down as far as I could. It would probably go down a bit further if I put the nozzle on the end of the wand, but it's a bit awkward. But yeah, I might have got a bit further down the sides, but clearly there were a lot of biscuit crumbs left. because the side I always sit on and eat biscuits, I know I shouldn't. I used this morning and I could hear loads of stuff going up because this got right down to the base. This is an attachment I would recommend. You can get it direct from Miele. But even a Miele regular crevice tool, you know, like a 30cm 12-inch one, would be far better to get. So I think if you really like this machine, you're going to have to pay out for some extra tools, because the tools supplied, well, this tool is pants, I have to say. Anyway, that's the crevice tool. To use it as a furniture nozzle, you need to squeeze these two yellow parts together at the same time and then swing out this part so it locks in place, and then it fits on there. So can you see where the suction inlet is? It's offset. It's also very, very small. It's unlikely you'd block this nozzle because it's hard to get much in that tiny hole. And it's that small hole that increases the noise level of this machine. I'm going to do it now for you to show you what I mean. It really sounds unpleasant. And it's not that nice to use. It doesn't have the fabric litter pickers. It has these, which may be a bit more durable than the fabric ones. It's sort of a rubber, sort of textured rubber surface. It's not a pleasant angle to use. I did clean my whole sofa with it. It was okay, but not as good as the previous Miele nozzles, the nozzles supplied with the C3, for example. You can buy a mini turbo nozzle as well for this if you've got pets, which I would recommend as well, but then you're adding, say, another £50 to this. If you bought this with all the tools I would recommend, you're probably going to talk £700, and that's a no-no. I think for £500 you should get better tools, you know. Even this tool, this is another one I've been using. This is a Miele dusting tool, you know, very good. It's flexible, but I must say the built-in dusting tool isn't bad. I quite like it. It's handy and convenient, but this is better, and there's the other Miele dusting tool, the rounder one, that's better than the one here. But anyway, let me just plug the machine in for you. Let's pull out the cable. When you first plug in the cleaner, you may have to use the on-off button on the control panel, but once you've done it, all the controls should be available to you from the handle. So the next time I plug this in, I shouldn't have to press that button. This display will show, this will dim in a moment, but this shows the filter and the bag status. So now I can control everything from the handle, switch on and off, vary the power, or switch to automatic. But as I said earlier, you can control it direct from the machine itself using the plus and minus buttons. Let me just show you what I mean about the noise level of this particular nozzle. So I'll just turn on the cleaner. Now that is on maximum. I'll just reduce the power to minimum. The cleaner will remember your last setting even if you unplug it. So if I've finished cleaning on minimum, when I use this machine another day, it will start on minimum. When you initially get it, it will start on maximum as default. Okay, so this is the noise level on minimum. I'll turn it up to maximum, and then we'll pop this nozzle on. Okay, that's maximum power. Now listen to the difference in noise when I put the nozzle onto the cleaner. So that's just a little niggle, but it's not a good nozzle. I'm telling you now, folks, it's not a good nozzle. It's not nice to use. And the crevice tool, I wouldn't say it's useless, but it's not very good, to be honest, compared to previous Miele models I've shown you with crevice tools. Even the C3, I mean, it has a fairly short crevice tool, but it's still better than this one. Anyway, when you've finished using that, you have to press the button again. It has opened. Sometimes it doesn't open first time, and then it'll only go in one way. Just slots in. Close that. For a premium vacuum, I know there's a reason why all the tools aren't in, and I'll show you the inside where the bag is. And another thing that I'm not keen on as well. Yes, there's going to be a lot of negatives. On the whole, I do quite like this machine. I don't like it as much as £500, but I do like it. Okay, so that's the outside of the machine and the cleaning tools. I'll show you the control panel in a moment, but let's have a look at the inside, at the bag and the filter. To access the dust bag, there's a little catch here just above the carry handle. So you just need to squeeze that and open up the bag door, and it stays open. It's quite rigid, so it gives you plenty of access to change the bag and to change the filter. So these are new bags, completely new bags, and they're designed to lock in to the machine better than, say, previous models that the bags could move. If you'd open the bag door, you need to check that the collar is securely in place. This has happened with some people who've got, especially the C3 models. Unless you check that the bag door collar hasn't become displaced, then it can leak dust into the bag compartment. But with this one, there's this securing collar here. You can just pull the bag out, and yeah, there is dirt in here. There's a little cover, spring-loaded, that keeps the dust in. You can't really see, but there is dirt in here. Now, what I did notice about this machine, it gives off quite an unpleasant smell. And when I investigated the smell, I just thought it's new vacuum smell, but it's not a pleasant new vacuum smell. I've smelt enough new vacuums to know. I put my head in there, not quite, but I smelt in there, and it has a horrible chemically smell, and I couldn't cope with it. I thought it would probably go in a while. I just couldn't cope with it. So I just sprinkled some little fragrance granules inside this bag, and now this smells of a pine forest when I'm using it, which is preferable to the plastic chemical smell that this machine was emitting from the exhaust. It wasn't pleasant. I'm going to show you something that's already proved quite controversial, but we'll start with the uncontroversial HEPA AirClean 50 filter, which is standard on this machine. You can upgrade to this top of the line filter on all the models, I believe, the S1 and the M1. If they don't come with this as standard, you can get this direct from Miele, and that's supposed to last 50 hours of use. And the display and the app will tell you when to change that. So that fits here, okay? Quite simple. You have to make sure it's in place properly, and you push it until it's clicked. Pre-motor filter, let's have a look at it. Oh, there isn't one, folks. Although there is, Miele are calling this a lifetime pre-motor filter, and you can take it out to give it a bit of a dust. And here it is. It's see-through. It's a mesh. It's not going to stop very fine dust going straight through into the motor. I mean, these bags are good, and from previous Miele's I've shown you on my channel, these bags do tend to do most of the work at retaining the fine dust. And normally when you take out a Miele bag and you look in the bag compartment, it's all spotlessly clean. But I don't know if the bags actually say on them the filtration level. Just says max efficiency, high close, large capacity. Oh, well, the bags themselves are claiming a 99.99% filtration. So perhaps Miele have thought, well, the bags are going to filter out nearly everything. There's only going to be very tiny particles that might get through the bag. And if they're tiny enough to get through the bag, they will get through this filter. They will go through the motor and reach the HEPA filter, but they shouldn't leave the HEPA filter. If your HEPA filter hasn't worn out, the dust that comes out, the air that comes out of this should be more or less clean from any dust, cleaner than the air in your room. But it's a bit of a, I don't know. And one of my viewers told me he was in the Miele Experience Centre, and even the lady working there was surprised there wasn't any sort of pre-motor filter apart from this. So I have been asked, would you cut a filter and fit it? I said I wouldn't personally, because if you fit anything that's not approved by the manufacturer or it's a genuine part, they can often say no, your warranty is no longer valid now. So personally, don't do it, folks. But you know, just bear in mind, if you buy this cleaner, this is the filter. You do get pre-motor filter on the S1. I haven't seen the M1 yet, but I'm assuming you also get pre-motor filter on the M1, but not on the L1. It's an odd decision, but anyway. But that goes back, so you can remove it to give it a bit of a clean if it needs it, but it really shouldn't, to be honest. So we'll pop the bag back. So the bag fits in this way, and as you push it in, this part should close and lock the bag in place, but you've got to push it in firmly, so that's not locked in. You need to give it an extra push and it clicks into place. You can, alternatively, you can just do this. As long as that's clicked into place, it should be flush with the bag collar, like that. So in goes the bag. Make sure it's all tucked in. You don't want it going past the seal, so, you know, don't try and close the bag door with the bag like that. Make sure it's all neatly inside the container, so it will seal all around here. Right, so we've got the bag door open. We've replaced the bag, blah, blah, blah. It's fitted properly. Then you've got to force the bag door down. It's a little bit, there is resistance, so don't be worried that you're going to break it. So there you go. The display, I'll show you that, and then I'll give this machine a quick push, and I'll use it even more, and I will do a pickup demo and everything. I might do some comparison videos with similar priced vacuum cleaners and see which comes out best, but that's for a later video. So as I said, the controls are all here on the handle. You can turn the cleaner on either by using the on-off button here or pressing the plus or minus. So if you press minus, the cleaner will start in its lowest suction setting, and if you press plus, it starts in maximum. To switch to automatic mode that continually adjusts the suction as you're using the cleaner, you press the A button here. The display will show you the power level you have selected. So this setting is for curtains and loose fabrics. Then we have upholstery and cushions. The next setting is automatic. Then we have the setting for cut pile carpets, rugs and runners. And then maximum for hard floors and heavily soiled carpets and rugs. If the cleaner detects a blockage or any other restrictions to airflow, this animation will appear on the display. This standard floor head supplied is the best Miele nozzle I've used for my plush pile carpets. Even on maximum power, I can move it back and forth, although it's quite an effort. On automatic, it's very easy because on automatic it restricts the airflow when you're using this nozzle on plush pile. So the machine senses restricted airflow in automatic and will reduce the power, but it is constantly adjusting itself in the automatic mode, and it's a mode I don't think I'll use very often. So I'll turn the cleaner on starting with the minimum setting. So just by pressing the minus button, very quiet. It's gripping the carpet. This setting you could use late at night if you don't want to disturb your neighbours, or you've got people sleeping upstairs and you need to get some housework done, you work shifts. So it will pick up the bits. I'm not so sure about deep down dirt, but it'll certainly make the carpet look clean. So that's on minimum. Let's just go up to the upholstery setting. Again, still quiet and still doable on my plush pile. It's not too bad. I am putting a bit of effort in. I will skip the automatic. Now I'll show you the automatic actually, because that's the next setting when you press plus. So now already it's reduced the power and it will fluctuate. So it tends to increase the power slightly when I'm pulling the head back, which is good, but when I'm using more force and pushing the head forward, it does drop the suction a bit. So it's constantly fluctuating. If I was to release the nozzle off the carpet so there's no restriction, it has increased the power, but it hasn't gone right to maximum. So, you know, it's not the best cleaner for fully carpeted homes in my opinion, but it's not bad. It is the best nozzle I've used. Let me just switch off. But this nozzle does come with much cheaper Mieles, and if it doesn't, if you've got another Miele, you can buy this nozzle separately. To compare it though with the TurboTech, now this does have a vent to open, and if I was to use this cleaner on maximum, I have to have this vent fully open. But I can use it on a lower speed with the vent closed, but the brush is not going to spin as fast. but it is easier to push. Let's increase it. Pretty hard to push until I open the vents. So if you've got plush pile Saxony and you want the TurboTech nozzle and you want the remote control, this is the only option. So you have to buy this separately. So personally, for a plush pile Saxony, I'd use the TurboTech nozzle fully open, and the suction setting, I would select the rug setting, the one below maximum. And then you've got the best combination of performance and fairly easy to push. I've used this cleaner upstairs on my much shorter pile carpets on maximum using this nozzle, and it was fine. It's just plush pile Saxonies and softer carpets, they can be hard to use many vacuum cleaners on them, as you might know if you've seen a few of my videos, with this awful carpet which I regret buying. But yes, this is a head I'd recommend you get if you've got pets, if you don't want to get the cat and dog version. This is available in black as a cat and dog, but you don't get the remote hand grip and some other features you don't get. So you'll need to go on the website and just compare. There's so many different models, different colours, different features. They come with different filters, different floor heads. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. You just need to look through and see what you want. And if you've got pets, personally go for the cat and dog version. If you haven't, if you've got mainly hard floors and a few carpets, because it comes with the Parquet Twister XL, you know, you might decide this is the cleaner for you. But yeah, I don't know. I do quite like it, to be honest, after using it for a while. So you can park this here. That's the parking feature. So just lift it off and you can readjust, carry on with your cleaning. These are harder work than using a little cordless machine to whip around your home. But personally, a cordless machine is good for your day-to-day cleaning. In my opinion, it's very good for whipping around, and I'm currently, at the time of making this video, using a cordless cleaner as my main vacuum for most of the time, and it is a lot easier to just whip around every room in the house. I can just get it all done, everything looking presentable. But if I want a deeper clean, if I want to do my upholstery, my mattress, take it out to the car, and you know, curtains especially are difficult with a cordless. I personally think it's good to have both types if you can afford them and you have space. A cordless for quick whip round, and a mains powered, whether it's an upright or cylinder, for your more intensive cleaning that you'll maybe do that once a month, and daily for your cordless, once a month with a mains machine. Then personally you have the best of both worlds, and then top it off with a carpet washer, and then you should have most of your floor care needs, certainly your carpet care needs, dealt with then. So, is there anything else I need to tell you about this cleaner? As I said, I'll be doing a further video with a demo. I think I've told you everything I need to tell you at the moment. Let's unplug. There's this one final thing to show you actually. The storage bracket on the back of the machine. Right, let's... right, I'm going to do it with my foot to show that you can do it with your foot. I've only got socks on. I wouldn't do this if you've got great big Dr. Martin boots on. Just be careful when you touch the cord rewind. Probably best to do it with your finger, really. Oh dear, how did that happen? I've got a knot in the cable. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, if you've got a knot, you need to remove it. There we are. So I have to press it again. And personally, I like to hold on to the plug. If you stop it, you'll see that it's not gone in. So you have to press it. If it stops winding in, you have to press the comfort button again. So you need to make sure that the cable hasn't got any kinks in it. I think I'll be okay pressing it once more. Yeah, it doesn't really whip into the machine. It's fairly gentle going in. Right, so to store the machine away and for easier carrying, you've got this slot on the back. So first of all, reduce the length of the wand, and then that goes on there. And then you could sort of curl the hose round once or maybe twice. It'll go around twice. That's quite neat. So now This is how you can have it in your cupboard, if your cupboard's tall enough. Or, this is also how you can carry the machine. It's a comfortable handle here. So now I can carry this cleaner up the stairs. Everything is secure on the machine. So I just need one hand, so I can hold the handrail of the stairs with the other if I needed to. Otherwise, yeah, I quite like that. It's secure and it stays where it goes. And then, yeah, as I said, if you've got a tall cupboard, you can store it in this position and just grab it, plug it in and get cleaning. That's about the end of my video, giving you my first impressions on this Miele Guard L1 premium priced vacuum cleaner. It certainly looks very attractive. If that matters to you, if you want your vacuum cleaner to look nice, it certainly scores high marks for that. It looks lovely, especially in my living room. It just so blends in with my colour choices and my furniture. But really, do you need a vacuum cleaner to blend in? Most people just want the vacuum to work and they want it to be reliable and easy to use, don't they? But it's at least 9 out of 10 for looks for this machine. And it will continue to look nice in my care because I don't abuse my vacuums. I wonder how this nice finish will withstand somebody who doesn't care how they use the vacuum cleaner. And I'm just wondering how these electronics and gadgets and Wi-Fi are going to last. Anyway, I'll be very interested in your comments on this machine. A lot of you will have some Miele cleaners already and may not be too happy. I've already had some comments about this and some people aren't too happy, but I've shown you everything I can show you for this video. As I said, I'll do a demo video and I might even do some comparison videos, but I'm going to compare this like for like with another brand, a cylinder vacuum, bagged. I'm not going to compare it with something that is totally different. It's not a fair comparison, but I'll find some cleaners that are a similar price point, maybe a bit less, premium machines with bags, and we can see which one I prefer. I have to say, for the money, if you're paying £500 for a vacuum cleaner, you can buy a Sebo in the UK, Sebo E3 Premium for less than that. I think at the time of making this, I think they've got it on offer about £427 for the pastel mint colour, and that comes with mostly everything. An electric power head, the ET1 power head. Also comes with a parquet floor head, a dusting brush, crevice tool, a upholstery nozzle, and also a mini turbo tool. All for £427, only at the moment. It might have gone up by the time you see this, but it's on 20% off from sebo.co.uk. And personally, if I was spending over £400 on a vacuum, personally, I would go for this. I have bought this, but then I've got a channel reviewing vacuum cleaners, so I had to, but I was keen to get it, but it has slightly disappointed me. Also, Miele need to sort out, let me just reach over, they need to sort out the bag redemption, so people are actually getting the bags that fit this machine rather than the GN bags that you are offered. That's ridiculous. Sort that out, please, Miele. And also, they need to make sure that the UK instruction book that's packed with machines sent to the UK has got all the details you need for the remote handle, not just pairing it, but using it and changing the battery. It is not in this version. So, and I've looked through it many times, just since, you know, I thought, have I missed something? But no, I hadn't. There's nothing in here. So, it's an oversight on Miele's part. As I said, I could not get this to work when I first got it. I almost returned it, but I reached out to my audience and one kind viewer told me what to do. I probably would have worked it out eventually, but I would have been so frustrated in the process. I was just ready to just throw the towel in with this and think, no. So, what do you think about it? What do you think about no pre-motor filter? What do you think about this 2-in-1 nozzle? What do you think about Miele's direction at the moment? Where do you see Miele going? Are you happy with this, or are you not so happy? Personally, get C3. If you want a Miele at the moment, C3s will be on offer. If they're not on offer now, I'm sure you'll get C3. They do a Comfort C3 with the remote handle that you don't have to pair with the body of the machine. That would be a lot better value. I've seen that for $299 at the time of making this video, and this is $499. And I would say the performance would be on par. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this has got exactly the same motor in it as the C3, and possibly even the S1 that I've shown you previously. Anyway, I've gone on for far too long. I know I haven't done a demo. This works very well. I must say I'm pleased with the performance of it. I've got other Miele's on my channel that I've demoed, but I will do a separate demo. But I thought I'd go through all the features and functions, my pros and cons, before you buy it. But I can't say buy this, to be honest. It's far too expensive for what you get, and I think it could prove problematic. There's no way this is going to last me 20 years if I was to use it as my daily vacuum, or even twice weekly or weekly vacuum. I can't see it lasting that long. And to be honest, I'd be bored, sick of it after 20 years. It's a good job I've got so many chick cleaners to choose from, because I'm a little bit strange. Anyway, it's lovely looking, I'll say that. Top marks for looks, not so good for other things. Thanks for watching, folks. Sorry I've gone on a bit too long, but it's a brand new product, and I thought I'd give you my genuine feelings about it, completely unsponsored. I'm going to be paying this for 3 months. I've gone 3 months interest free, so couldn't afford it all in one go. So in 3 months' time, it'd be good to do an update, I suppose, when it's fully paid for. Anyway, I'll go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye for now.